Yes, what's going on, everybody? I'm back. It's the Flying Pig out on Flying Pig United with another cheeky little stream for you. We're here with the transfer news of the evening in regards to Manchester United. Come on, United. We're actually doing some bits at the moment, aren't we? Look, and Mbeumo's not done yet, guys. Hopefully, you never know. Could be announced during this stream. Probably not. Probably going to be tomorrow. But we have got some positive stuff to get into tonight. So let's be having you. Thank you, everyone, for joining the live stream here. Thank you so much for joining. Do us a favour at the start of this stream. Smash that like button on it. Help us get to 100 likes just like that. And also share us around. It does help the channel, helps the stream. You can share us on X there by reposting the link at the top of the live chat there. Give us a cheeky little share and a like and a subscribe. And if you're new, subscribe. What we do on this channel, we have a great community vibe. We also discuss all the latest transfer news in a no bullshit fashion. So let's get into it. Big ups everyone who's in here. Susan, William, Josh, Oscar, Ghost Hunters, Steve Barrera, Urbano, PJ, Malps, Mark, Warrior, The Squid, JC, Kate Cadet, and everybody else as well. Everybody who's in here, thank you so much for joining us. As I say, yes, like, subscribe, comment, all that shite. Right, let's get into it, guys. Let's get into it. Don't say that, Hansi. And Mbeumo's not going to Spurs. Okay, so Thomas Frank there. Yeah, fair enough. There's some links. Spurs aren't going to pay the wages for him, mate, that we can. Spurs don't like to pay players what they're worth, mate. Spurs are bottle jobs, lad. That's not going to happen. Anyway, so there is some good news at the moment tonight, guys, in regards to Viktor Gyokeres. So we've been seeing quite a bit about it over the last couple of hours. You know, I've been keeping an eye on what's been going on. And there's some big news. There's some big news, guys. It does seem that Manchester United are approaching Sporting very soon with an offer. There's a report here from Marco Alcaraz that says that breaking, Manchester United have now made direct contact with Sporting regarding Viktor Gyokeres. Club-to-club talks to continue over the coming days. Get in there, you beauty. This is exactly what we need. We need to start working on Gykeres now. So getting Mbeumo over the line is very important, of course. But one of the most important things for us is to have a proper number 9, a proper goal scorer. 54 goals, 52 games for Viktor Gyokeres, guys. He's no Gykeres. You know what I'm saying? He's no joke at all, this man. So, direct contact's been made, but as per, you know, Marco Alcaraz. Also, basically, there's some more on it that says that Understand United have been directly informed of an existing agreement between Viktor Gyokeres and Sporting via player's agent today, which allows him to be sold for £55 million this summer. There is a gentleman's agreement in place between the player and Sporting. You know, sounds a bit airy-fairy, but £55 million, guys. 55 million. So what's that in euros? 65, 70, you know, 70 million euros, whatever. Get it done. Get this guy in there, guys. He's representing some decent value right now. You think about all his goals, his age. He fits in the sort of the signings that we're making at the moment. Similar sorts of signings in regards to the age and, you know, stepping up to a huge club from a smaller club, same as Mbeumo, same as Cunha, these guys. So, £55 million, that's how much is being bandied around at the moment. It's not so much as a release clause, I suppose, but there is apparently an existing agreement between the club and the player, which essentially says that he's allowed to leave if a £55 million offer comes in. So that's good. That's really good, guys. All these reports lately saying 70 million euros are probably about accurate. Surely it's going to take at least that to get him in, a player of that caliber. Sporting aren't just want to give him away. So, you know, it's looking good, this one, guys. I guess the biggest stumbling block for Man United, it's still going to be the player and what he wants to do and who he wants to play for and who comes in for him. That's what it's going to come down to. If it's only Manchester United coming in for him, I'm sure he'll come and join us. Because even though we don't have the Champions League football that Sporting do, it's the Premier League. It's just a much bigger club as well than Sporting. So the draw is going to be too much to come. Plus, he's going to be getting paid a huge amount of money more at Manchester United. That's also going to make it very hard to turn down. However, there's still a chance, and I reiterate, still a chance that these scumbags, Arsenal or someone else, Newcastle or a team in a different league, can still turn his head. So it is a bit concerning. Remember, Man United finished 15th. We're bottle jobbing it. Big time at the moment. We're in the toilet in terms of our history. If you look at our history, this is like the lowest point, you know, since we got rallied. So it's a long time, 40 years of guff, pretty much. To this point, it's almost the guffest point in about 30, 40 years. It's crazy. So from a player outside looking in, you have to factor that in. But we've got the Amorim factor, guys, the Amorim factor. And he's got that history, that working relationship with Mr. Viktor Gyokeres. We've got the Amorim factor, guys. Okay, and the Amorim factor doesn't mean that he gets less points than Gary Neville at Valencia. No, that's not what that means. What that means is he's got that relationship there already with the player, and that's going to be important bringing him in. Now, obviously, people were saying, well, what about Thomas Frank and Mbeumo? Slightly different, because Thomas Frank may well want Mbeumo, but are Spurs going to pay 60-odd million for him? And are they going to pay him more than 150,000 a week? Probably not, no. Probably not. So it means that the opportunity for United to sign Gykeres is there, you know, and if we are not messing about this window and go in there with an early bid now, maybe we can just pinch him before anybody else wakes up to the fact that they can go and get him right now. I mean, look at the Arsenal-Hollands. Arsenal are quite literally signing Sesko right now for huge money. Well, they could have Gykeres if they wanted to, but they're not doing it. But they could have Gykeres. I'm sure if they actually tried to negotiate a deal for him, they could convince him to go there. They did finish second. They did get to the Champions League semis. They are doing well at the moment, you know, for them. So I'm surprised that they've gone for Sesko, but hopefully they get him, because if not, then they could turn their attentions to Gykeres. But at the moment, United are the team that is leading the chase for Gykeres. That's how we have to say it. You know, because there's nothing guaranteed, there's nothing lined up. But out of all the clubs who are being mentioned right now, Viktor Gyokeres to Manchester United is the hottest story that's going around. I wonder if I can actually find Viktor Gyokeres' next club odds and just see what the odds are right now. I don't think I could even find those odds, but actually, hang on. I mean, Viktor Gyokeres to Manchester United, I don't know, this is a load of bollocks, forget it. But surely it's one of the favourites to join us anyway, is all I'm saying. So I'm expecting us to table a bid very soon. We're talking about getting rid of Garnacho, Højlund, Anthony, these guys very soon. That's going to basically finance the Gykeres deal. We had enough money at this football club, even without the UCL, to go and buy Cunha and probably Mbeumo as well. But now, of course, there's going to have to be some departures to make up for that Gykeres sale. But that's not to say that we have to sell those players first before we can go and get Gykeres. Quite the opposite. The opportunity is there for Manchester United to go and sign him now. So we should strike like a cobra and go and bring him in here now. And then obviously we can recoup that cash later by selling all these melts off throughout the summer. Nobody seems to be queuing up for our players. You know, nobody's knocking on our door like we are for Cunha and Mbeumo. Nobody's doing that to United. Nobody's wanting Anthony at the moment right now, it seems. Nobody's desperate to get that deal wrapped up before this little mini transfer window's over. You know, nobody's doing that. We are. So I'm actually really quite happy with the approach that we've had so far this summer. We've already got pretty much 2 nailed on signings. Just waiting for a confirmation on Mbeumo, obviously. And Cunha's done. And then we're turning our attentions to Gykeres. We're not messing around, it seems. So Man United made contact. That is the report. Apparently, we've been directly informed of an existing agreement between Viktor Gykeres and Sporting Players agent today, which allows him to be sold for £55 million. So £55 million for a player of that calibre. I mean, it's £1 million for every goal that he scored in their league, isn't it? It's £1 million for a goal that he scored, and that's, sorry to say, but for Manchester United, we're desperate for it. We're desperate for half the amount of goals that he scored in Portugal. So he could be an excellent addition. We've just got to hope that, you know, give it a few days, and we'll hear more about some sort of an agreement being worked on here between the two clubs. It may well go a little bit quiet, obviously over the Club World Cup and stuff, maybe, but I still expect Man United to be lining up deals. So positive news there, guys. Positive news there. Loving what I'm hearing about the potential for us to be going, making that contact for Viktor Gykeres and bringing him in there. By the way, we've got 400 legends in it right now. Big ups to the 400 legends watching and having your say in the chat. In case you don't know how it works around here, we do dip in and out the live chat throughout and read a few comments and have a cheeky little chat throughout the show, but we do have a big Q&A at the end. So stick around to that and we'll get through everyone's comments, etc. Also, if you are just getting in the stream, we've only got 99 likes, but 400 watching. You are! That's an Andre Onana level of performance right there. Hit that thumbs up button on the stream, guys. It's free. And help us get that sucker to 200 immediately. Oh, yes. Cadet, he comments and he says this. He says, Spurs are clamping down on Mbeumo, Pig. Are you worried? Not really, mate. No, when you say clamping down on Mbeumo, what do you really mean? Obviously, Thomas Frank's just been appointed there. You know, so it will be appointed there. And that's going to be confirmed, right? Or maybe it has been confirmed tonight, actually. Danny Kelly, thanks for subscribing, mate. Yeah. But end of the day, the deal's 95% done here between Manchester United, Brentford and Mbeumo. Yes, the overall fee and structure of it's not quite agreed upon just yet, otherwise we'd have heard about it. So there's still a few things to iron out, but it's 95% done, lad. I guess Brentford could just be quite easily asking for a couple of extra £1 million here to sweeten the deal, because they know that Man United don't want to let this go on, especially now with Thomas Frank going to Spurs. Like, that's a great bargaining chip for those scumbags, Brentford, isn't it? If they really want to play hardball and try and get an extra $5 million, you know, it's one of those, isn't it? It's like they could quite easily get that money out of us right now if there's the threat of another team like Spuds coming in for him. So if that happens, you'd have to say there is a probable chance that he could go and sign for Tottenham. We've gone over this earlier on. I don't even want to talk about it again, to be honest, but seeing as you said, there's a chance because of Thomas Frank, because of the money you know, that they'll have from the Champions League football. That's like 100 million worth to them. They can spend a bit of money this summer if they want to. They don't usually, but they can. Also, just that working relationship is important. Let's face it, we're talking about Viktor Gyokeres turning down moves to Champions League standard teams in order to play for Amorim at Manchester United, who finished 15th. That's what we're talking about. So if Gykeres is interested in joining Manchester United because of Amorim, and that's kind of what us United fans are clutching onto at the moment, is just the hope that he wants to come because, yes, United's a huge club, and yes, we can pay really well. But it's also a lot down to the Amorim factor. We're all clutching onto that right now. But if that's the case, then surely there could have been a cheeky little phone call behind the scenes from Thomas Frank to Mbeumo saying simply, by the way, I've got the Spurs job. Come with me, boyo. Come with me. You know, and if he wanted to, he could have obviously spoken to the hierarchy at Spurs and started the proceedings there in order to try and pinch the deal. So it is a little bit concerning, I'll give you that. So Mbeumo, though, I think it's safe. I think it's safe. You know, it's Spurs, guys. Spurs are the most Spursy team in the world. They don't pay players huge money. They win one trophy every 17 years or something. You know, if you're a player going to Spurs, yeah, they do have Champions League football. Oh, Champions League football with Spurs. Oh, what does that actually mean? They won't go far in the Champions League. They'll just bottle it out early doors. You know, they get done up in this guff Super League system, whatever it is. They'll just be really low right down the bottom of the fucking group. They're absolutely shite. They're going to bottle it, and then they won't win anything for another 15 years or so. So if you factor it in, yes, okay, they've got Champions League football now. So what? Who wants to play a handful of games in the Champions League and then get done up? It's not the same as playing for an actual team that has Champions League football, is it? You know, if you play for a top team, the PSGs, the Bayerns of this world, you've got a real feeling that you can go on and win that tournament. There's a real emphasis of getting far in each round every single year. You're going to get far. But for Spurs, it's like, they'll just be out of the Champions League next season and then won't win a trophy for another 20 years, guys. Simple. So I don't think we have to worry too much about Spurs, because if I was Viktor Gyokeres, I would look at this opportunity at United. If I was Mbeumo, I would look at this opportunity at United as a very good time to come to us, because we do have the potential to be a much bigger, better club, obviously, than Spurs. And Mbeumo, you know, has an opportunity there which is very, very big. He can come in and be one of our main men in the top of the pitch there and play in that number 10 role alongside Cunha, behind the likes of Gykeres. He will, I think, benefit massively from playing for Manchester United, not just from a footballing sense, but actually just from a every sense, financial, global brand recognition, and whatever you want to say. It's a huge football club. And so for that reason, I think we can definitely get this deal finished. In fact, we're just waiting a confirmation of it, aren't we? So calm down about Bryan Mbeumo, guys. I know the live chat is getting a little bit impatient, and a lot of the fan base is getting impatient, and I understand it, especially when you have Thomas Frank being appointed at Spurs and the potential for those melts sniffing around him. But if you're a player who's serious about trying to win things in the future, not just now because we've got one season where we're out of the Europe or whatever, not just now, but for over the next 4 or 5 years, you're not going to go to Spurs. You're not going to Spurs. Spurs are massively Spursy. Spurs are the only team that can win a European trophy and finish 17th in the league with losing 22 games in a season. They're the only absolute melters that can do that. You know, I mean, we almost did it, but they actually lost 22 times in the Premier League. So they were so lucky. Spurs were so lucky. They had a nice run to the final. Yes, okay. Oh, what's that? Beating Bodo Glimt, is it? Oh, he's a freaking Hobbit character, mate. Do you know what I mean? Beating Bodo Glimt in the semis, and you've played the worst United side in Premier League history and beaten us in a one-off game. You know, it's like they're still a shit team, though, aren't they? They're still not great. And Thomas Frank, although a good coach, I just don't expect him to get them up there challenging next season. No chance. Yeah, Tottenham are a tumble team. Mbeumo could be a legend. Absolutely he could, mate. That's it. He's got a great chance here, a great opportunity. Bloody hell, guys. 440 legends tuning in. Big ups to the late night legends. Maybe I should stream later more often. I streamed later tonight because we were watching the Portugal and Spain game. Big ups Portugal. Big ups Bruno, Dallo, Cristiano Ronaldo getting that UEFA Nations League trophy. You can see what it means to them. It's beautiful. By the way, we're on 90,399 subscribers. We need one more subscriber, guys. Just one more subscriber to get to 90,400. We're on the big push to 100k these days, believe it or not, guys. You can help us get there. That's right, you. You, right there, scratching yourself down there. Stop doing that and subscribe. Subscribe to the channel. You know it makes sense. Yeah, excited about the headline. Nice one, Mike. Son Goku 7, how the hell have you been, mate? Great to see you, mate. Great to see you. Thank you, Jake, for liking the video. Nice one, Jan S. Get in there. Okay, yes. Yeah, okay, no, that doesn't mean that, mate. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of players. So Mbeumo, potentially, what, a United fan as a kid. It doesn't really mean that much. So was Cole Palmer. But he's not come and play for United, has he? I mean, not that we went in for him. We should have done. But there's lots of players that, you know, are United fans that end up going elsewhere. And obviously, again, it doesn't really matter. You just want players who are actually good and committed. I don't really care who they grew up supporting. But it does increase the likelihood a little bit, personally, I think, that they would want to come to the football club, though, doesn't it? Bunch of Muppets. Yeah, well, it was actually a good game. You know, Spain played really well for the first half and Portugal tore them up the second. It was a good game, mate. I enjoyed it. And Portugal got a heck of a team. Obviously, Spain got a ridiculous team as well. James Raw, I can see you, boss. I can see you. Okay, James Whelan says, just tuned in. Sorry I'm late. Gykeres, likely to join. Oh, okay, let's ask the live chat, guys. Give us a percentage out of 100%, obviously. How realistic you think it is that we, Manchester United, sign Viktor Gyokeres this summer. Honestly, the other day, my thoughts were 25%. 25%, I figured the chances are he's going to go somewhere else. But as the time goes on, and nobody else is heavily linked with him, and Arsenal are signing Sesko, and all the rest of it, I feel like now we're at 40%. I feel now we've got a 40% chance of signing him. I'm just trying to remain optimistic about the Amorim factor, and hope that that's enough of a draw to maybe get him to come and play for us. And he knows that we are a huge club and we will pay him massively, more than Sporting and probably more than he can get in most places right now. It depends on the player. If the player decides that he wants Champions League football and that's the be-all and end-all, then he will just go to a club that has Champions League football. Or even stay at Sporting for a little bit longer. Because they do have Champions League football, but I doubt that. I think it's time ready now to move for a bigger club. Sporting's a great club, but there's much bigger out there that would desire the services of a player like Gykeres this summer. So I'm still hoping that there's not a big Spanish team or a big German team or a big Italian team that wants him. If there is, and they've got Champions League football and that's what he wants, very difficult to try and change his mind. You say 80%, 50-50, 100%, 40, 60, 55. I think it's still a little bit unlikely because of the place where we finish, where we're at. You know, it's helped us sign in players early doors, making it seem like we're trying to show ambition this summer. That's definitely helped our likeliness of doing it. 69 says Canute, 50-50, 70-50. Yeah, most of us are kind of realistic about this. We know that we might be linked with this guy for a long time, but if there is a bid from a big club, I don't know, I'm just, you know, not that they necessarily going to do it, but just like a team like Barcelona or somebody like that, you can imagine that his head would be turned to the point where he might think about going there instead, most definitely. Plus, they can afford it in terms of finances. You know, big clubs like that can afford it. So, yeah. Aren't we favourites to sign Gykeres? I believe we are favourites to sign Gykeres. Yeah, certainly right now we're in the driving seat, mate. And what does that really mean? Well, we're in pole position in the driving seat. But you know what can happen is in the home stretch, after the final corner, you can get overtaken, mate. You can, right at the end. So I hope that doesn't happen, mate, and I hope it's not even a photo finish I hope we win it by a mile. But we need to Michael Schumacher this deal, don't we? And just get it over the line, mate, 100%, real quickly. Real quickly. But I think we are favourites to sign him. You know, Arsenal going for Sesko. Nobody else is actually strongly linked with Gykeres at the moment. There are some links, Newcastle, whatever, but they've got Isaac, you know, I think we've got the biggest claim to him. Like, we can show him, hey, you're going to be the main guy for Manchester United. Like, what a privilege that is. Not only going to get paid handsomely and be a global megastar because we are a global mega brand, but you are going to be that goal scorer. That means a lot for these guys who grew up watching, you know, the previous generations at United when United was actually an amazing football club. You know, you don't have to go that far back to when we were winning things. So, you know, 12 years of absolute hurt now at the football club. But you don't have to go that far back. And even during the last few years of our real ropey situation, we've still won a few things. So you can't say that we're not a big club. And for Gykeres, he knows that. He knows there's a great opportunity there. And what makes it even sweeter, well, is mate Ruben's there as well. So I think it's possible, isn't it? It's definitely possible. Yeah, there you go. And Mbeumo's dream growing up was to play for United. He's defo coming. Gykeres, I think, next window. Me too. So, is it from the 9th to the 10th to the 16th, is it? It shuts for a little while. I can't remember exactly when it opens up again. But there's a little break where the Club World Cup gets going. And then there's going to be a serious push for Gykeres. It's unlikely that it will be anywhere before it reopens. We're hoping to get Mbeumo done, obviously, before this 10th deadline. That should be done, obviously, but then Gykeres, that's going to be the next time around, I think, with the next window opening up. Few new subscribers getting there. Tafiso Mashigo, let's get in there. Slick Boss and Tomatch back as well, and Iola Ugenrinken as well. Thank you so much, you legends, for hitting that subscribe button. I appreciate you guys. Do hit the subscribe if you're new here. We're on here every single day covering all the latest Manchester United goings on and news, and we'll cover all the breaking transfers and everything going on throughout the window. So we still got to get a few players out, don't we? We were talking about that earlier. Onana, see you later on, Mr. Flobberhand. See you later on, son, whoever wants to take him off our hands. See you later, Rasmus. See you later, Garnacho. See you later, Mason Mount, ideally. See you later to Anthony. You know, there's players to go out, which means we have got money to spend. The Gykeres deal is not cheap. It's a heck of a lot of cash. But actually, it's no more crazy than the Mbeumo deal or the Matheus Cunha deal. We're talking about 55 million. So this report, if you're just getting in the stream, this report from Marco Alcaraz reports that Understand Man United have been directly informed of an existing agreement between Viktor Gyokeres and Sporting CP via player's agent today, which allows him to be sold for 55 million this summer. Now, that doesn't sound to me like there's anything written in writing or anything like that. It sounds like it's a gentleman's agreement. You know, this says there's a gentleman's agreement in place. That doesn't necessarily mean, if there's obviously big offers coming in from several clubs, they'll try and push it up as much as possible. And I'm sure even with negotiations with United, they'll push it up as much as possible. But if he's got this agreement with them, and it is a genuine agreement, you know, gentleman's agreement, whatever you want to say, then he would be just absolutely disgusted, wouldn't he, if they didn't allow him to move for that sort of money. So if they are trying to just price him out of a move and ask for too much money, then he's going to get the right hump, isn't he? And then they're going to have to sell him anyway. So I think we're not going to have to pay too much money for this guy. I'll ask the live chat, though, just see what you think we're going to do, because remember, this is Man United we're talking about. And overall, we like to overpay for players. We do. But I'll ask the chat in terms of pound sterling. Never mind any of this Euro guff right now. Let's talk pound sterling. Pounds and pennies. How much do you think the final price tag will be for Manchester United to purchase Viktor Gyokeres from Sporting Lisbon? How much do you think it will be? Yeah, I'm going to say I actually think we'll get squeezed for a little bit more than this. I'm going to say £60 million. £60 million. Although this says 55 million and there's a reported agreement, I think we'll get him for £60 million. You know, that's a lot of money. It's a lot of money, 60, 70 odd million euros. They'll be happy with that. Surely Sporting can't be holding out for 80, 90. It's not that sort of club. That money is worth double to them over there as well. That's like them getting 100 million. You know, 70 million, 65, 55, 62. Fair play to you guys. 70, 75 to 80. I would not be surprised, bud. Remember, this is United. Remember, there's obviously other clubs that could come in for him. If that happens, then the price is going to get pushed up. That's no doubt. One thing I do like about signing this guy from Sporting is it's just kind of a good omen, isn't it? It's kind of a good omen, guys. Look at all these people, 60, 65, 50. Think about the players we've signed from Sporting in the past. Yep, 58 million, still a bargain, yet 55 is a concrete deal. I agree, even £70 million is still a good option, really, for this guy who's been so proven in terms of his goal scoring. Maybe not in the Prem, okay, I get it. But like we said, if he even does 50% of what he did in the Prem, then he'd be absolutely amazing. So he will be brilliant. 50 late in the window, 65, 72. You'd pay 100 million. A fair play, 59 sterling, 70 euros. There you go. Yep, there you go. So, okay. So around about that then. Yeah, that's what it is. That's what it translates to. 60 million. 70 goals a season. They know we're desperate. That's the problem. They know we're desperate. And also, if there is any other links, you know how these things work, guys. The PR spin. Maybe the whole reason you're seeing Spurs linked with Mbeumo is simply some sort of guff PR spin from the likes of Brentford, putting it out there in the media to try and get a couple extra million. That's how these things work. Sometimes a lot of the actual links with clubs and players, it's just bollocks. It's just literally designed to get a reaction from another team. You know, we're linked with this player. Oh, we were going to sign this striker, but now we're turning our attentions to Viktor Osimhen. You know, to try and get a club to try and accept an offer from you. That sort of stuff, if they don't want to lose out on the deal. There's loads of smoke and mirrors tactics going on. It's absolute guff. But that could happen, of course. There will be a bit of that going on. Yeah. Liverpool might be thinking of Gykeres as a long-term replacement for Salah. Interesting. Doesn't seem like they're going to. I mean, think about it. They've just signed Wirtz, right? He's costing them 130 million. Also getting Frimpong. They've got Frimpong, 35 million, and they're working on some other players as well. So I don't really see them having the funds. I know they've just won the league and everything. I don't really see them spunking another 70 million on Gykeres, though, personally. But you never know. Don't forget the add-ons. True. Well, that's the beauty of it for United at the moment. Maybe we could do a deal like that with them where we pay X amount up front, X amount over the next 18 months, and then X amount after he's had X amount of appearances or X amount of bonus. For X amount of goals. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we could definitely do that. We could definitely sort of stagger the deal, have it in installments. That's a good point as well, which we might try and do. So I would not be surprised if it turned out it was 75 million if it's going to be sort of on the never split over a few years. That's definitely possible, isn't it? Chris Johnson Adventures, thank you very much for subscribing to the channel. Really appreciate you there, lad. Nice guys, won 222 likes. Keep hitting the thumbs ups. We're going to aim for 300 likes on this little stream tonight then, guys. Give us a massive thumbs up if you haven't done so. Hit the likes on it. Get yourself involved with your thoughts. Let me just go and check the latest updates on social media, see if there's any big updates from any of the big boys, any of the Diamond Dog journalists. You know, any of those guys. We'll see if there's anything big here. Doesn't look like it at the moment, but yes, as I say, still a couple of good reports to get stuck into tonight. Let's have a look at him, and no, okay. Anyway, so we'll just run down quickly some of the other stuff that we've got here. So as we've mentioned, there were reports going around that Thomas Frank is interested in bringing in Bryan Mbeumo. Let's just hope that tomorrow Manchester United have that agreement announced and it's in place and we get this guy in. Reports from Florian Plettenberg earlier on said that the feeling around a possible deal for Benjamin Sesko and Arsenal remains very positive. There is no full agreement yet, but the next round of talks is already scheduled. So if they're signing Sesko, they're not signing Gykeres, really. If they fail to sign Sesko, they will probably turn their attentions to Gykeres. And we've heard Arsenal do have some interest in Gykeres, and Gykeres would be a great fit for them. They're desperate for a proper number 9. They're desperate for goals up there. They're also always only a couple of players or one player away from needing what they need. They need a proper goal scorer right now. If they'd have gone and got one in January, they could have even challenged for the league. Who knows? They didn't. They went in with Marino as their goal scorer, essentially, and they shat it. But if they don't get Sesko, I'll be worried that they're going for Gykeres. But I just pray that they're getting Benjamin Sesko. And it's looking good at the moment for Arsenal and Sesko. It's looking very good. Arteta's keen on him. The price tag is big. I'm surprised they're paying that much. We're talking about 80 to 100 million and crazy fees like that in terms of euros. I don't really understand it from Arteta, but it's better for us, guys, because they're going for Sesko, which means we can go for Gykeres. And just another update here from Marco Alcaraz says that Arsenal are closing in on agreement with RB Leipzig for Benjamin Sesko, which could see them shift their attention away from Man United target Viktor Gyokeres. And also, I believe Fabrizio Romano's given an update on his YouTube channel as well, hasn't he? Maybe I was live at the time. But I think he said something along the lines of the same, which is that because Arsenal are advancing well with this Benjamin Sesko transfer, there's an understanding that the Gykeres deal is ever increasingly likely for Manchester United, So you have to say, excellent news, excellent times, excellent positive story come out tonight. Arsenal approaching or advancing with that Sesko deal, and Manchester United in the driving seat to sign Viktor Gyokeres. Get in there, you beauty. Once again, we've made contact now. Apparently, we've made contact with Sporting CP regarding Viktor Gyokeres. Club-to-club talks continue over the coming days. So don't expect anything too soon. It's just putting the feelers out there. We're talking about initial talks here. A rough figure. How much do you want? Will we want your player, basically? Are you interested in selling him to us? That's pretty much, it's very early doors, very early doors at the moment. And as we discussed, from Viktor Gyokeres' perspective, surely he's not just going to join the first club that comes knocking. I wouldn't have thought so. So I am a bit concerned about when we're going to get this deal done. Not only concerned about other teams going in for him, but if you're Viktor Gyokeres, personally, if I was Viktor Gyokeres, for a start, I'd be built like a brick shithouse, and I'd be loving it. But secondly, I'd be thinking about waiting it out a bit. There's no rush, is there? It's a big decision, changing clubs, moving to a new city, all of that. I wouldn't really be rushing it. He knows there's going to be teams interested in him, and things change in the transfer market as well. Things can easily change. One injury here during an international game for a key player, and a team needs to go out there and spend money on a new player. So there's a lot can change over the course of a few days and weeks in football. So because of that, I'm not getting myself too carried away about Viktor Gyokeres, but I think it's increasingly likely that we will sign him. So 40% is my feeling of it now. Give it a couple of days, that might be 50%. Give it a few more after that, might be 90%. It depends what's coming out, obviously, in the media. As it seems right now, we're the team that's taken the lead of actually going to speak to Sporting about Gykeres. And we know that we need him. We know that we want him. We know that Amorim's here and has that working relationship with him. That's only going to help us and benefit us, guys. So, yeah, come on. Let's get some love in there, guys. This is good stuff. Man United actually doing bits. We've got Mbeumo getting over the line tomorrow, hopefully. Matheus Cunha. Those two alone are going to transform the way that we do things at United. Think about it. Amorim's system does not fit players like Garnacho, even Ahmad necessarily in a number 10 role. Doesn't fit Rashford, To get a really great system working like that under Amorim, you're going to need those proper 10s who can create, who can give and receive the ball in tight spaces there and score goals from that position as well, which is where the likes of Cunha and Mbeumo come in. And then if you could just add the meaty striking prowess of Viktor Gyokeres at the top of the pitch there, banging in goal after goal, goodness me, Man United could get back and challenge this season. Not for the title, no, not for the title, but for top 4. That's right, for top 4. If we banged a new goalkeeper in between the nets, in between the sticks, and got rid of that Andre Onana flubber hand and sold him off, then there's every possibility we're going to concede a heck of a lot less goals. The defence isn't terrible. We do have some injury proneness going on, but it's not awful, guys. I like some of the defenders. If we can keep De Ligt, Yoro, Slabby fit, Martinez, these guys, there's definitely worse defences out there. Then you have to look at the midfield position, Bruno, Cassie, Ugarte, Mainu. It's not bad. It's not bad at all. The cam rolls. Think about all the goals that Cunha and Mbeumo added to the Premier League this season just gone. Loads of goals in our team all of a sudden. And then the striker, wow, Gykeres just completes it, really. So we still need a wing back. We could still probably do with getting a centre back, a central mid at some point. But in terms of who we can go and get this summer and what positions are most important to strengthen, I think United's plan of attack so far this summer is actually pretty bang on. They've gone for Matheus Cunha, 25-year-old Brazilian with loads of goals, loads of assists, match winner, spectacular fashion over at Wolves from a lesser club that wants to come to Man United and step up to a huge club. Same goes for Bryan Mbeumo. We've gone and signed him from Brentford Leisure Centre. Pretty easy to go and sign a player from Brentford Leisure Centre, let's face it. They've got Gordon Brittis as their manager. It's easy compared to going to get him from a European supergiant. Brentford's a small club, no disrespect, but they're a small club. It's easy to sign up players from them compared. Sporting's a little bit of a different animal. That's what I was going to say earlier, guys. Sorry, I've just remembered a point I was going to make earlier. Sorry, my brain's going a million miles an hour at the minute with all this stuff going on. But that's what I was going to say. It's a good omen signing Viktor Gyokeres from Sporting, mate, because think about the other players that we've signed from Sporting. Let's go through it. So we signed Cristiano Ronaldo from Sporting. Wasn't bad, was it? He didn't turn out too bad, did he? Bruno Fernandes, another one. Yes, Mr. British, you know it. Bruno Fernandes, another one. Nani? Yeah, we got Nani from them as well, didn't we? Nani as well. So we got quite a good hit rate of signing players from Sporting. So I do like the fact that they're coming from Sporting. Yeah, Sporting brings us legends. Bruno, I don't know about that, mate. Okay, I personally really rate Bruno. I think he's class. I really like him, but maybe if you compare him to the best midfielders, best creative players in the world, no, I think he stacks up well. Actually, you compare him to De Bruyne over the last few seasons, his stats stack up amazingly well. And De Bruyne has always been one of the best players in the Prem. In his position, you compare it to Bruno. Bruno's chances created for his teammates is undeniable, lad. Frey Bentos FC to buy Luke Shaw. Come on, get some Frey Bentos emojis in the chat, guys. Get your tin openers out. In an ideal world, mate, yes, Luke Shaw will get his dream move to Frey Bentos FC and he'll be paid in unlimited tins of Frey Bentos steak and kidney pies. In his ideal world. But just remember this, guys, that's probably unlikely. That would be a fairy tale for Luke. No, the most likely outcome is that Luke Shaw ends up staying with us for the next 3 years. He'll probably be 25 stone by the end of his contract. What do you reckon? He's got 3 years left, 100,000 odd a week that he's on. All the Frey Bentos tins he can eat. He's not going to be playing that regularly. He's going to be in and out the physio room with constant bloody injuries, isn't he? We're talking about one of the most injury-prone melts ever. Nobody wants to sign him because he's so injury-prone, because he's not the most professional these days, carrying a little bit of extra durian timber around the midsection, mate. A little bit of extra timber being carried around by Luke. And so nobody really wants him. He's too injury-prone and he's not good value. So I think we're stuck with Luke Shaw, mate. We're stuck with Luke Shaw like a bad stench in your toilet room that you can't find. Turns out 6 months later, your mate, when he came round for a laugh, put a haddock down the back of your fucking cistern. You know what I'm saying? That's the sort of stench we've got with Luke Shaw at the football club. It reeks. But we're stuck with it. We're stuck with it until we can figure it out, guys. And we ain't figuring it out anytime soon. So there you go. Sack him, says Jonathan. Oh, yeah, if only. I mean, he still will be utilised as a backup, won't he? That's what he is now. So he's a backup for not just left wing back, but he'll be playing left-sided centre-back for us at times as a backup, if he stays. Come on, he's not going to go out on loan. I can't imagine he'll go out on loan. Nobody's going to want him again for the same reasons. Who's going to pay money to Luke Shaw, knowing that he's just going to be on the physio table next week? You're not going to do it. So, yeah, Case Slater says loan Shaw out, eat some of his salary, but who's going to have him? And who would he want to go for? Remember, also, it's a World Cup year, right? It is a World Cup year, as in next summer it's the World Cup. From Luke Shaw's perspective, he always seems to get in to the England setup, right? Actually, maybe for United, we should keep him this season. Because for some reason, Luke Shaw's always miraculously okay when it's a World Cup year. You know what I mean? What's that all about? He's always okay going into the World Cup. What a little prat. I think he puts it on at United. Do you know what I mean? But anyway, but anyway, he's he's just too injury prone. I don't even know why we're talking about Luke Shaw now, guys. He's such a non-player for us. He's the new Phil Jones. He's like a little tubbier version of Phil Jones, isn't he? With less of a pink face. That's what's going on there. Yeah, same thing with Mason Mount. Good luck trying to sell him, boss. Who's going to buy Mason Mount? Even if we slash the price by 50%. Nobody's really buying him. His wages stink, and he's an injury-prone mess. Yeah, did you describe it up and down? I don't really know. He is. Give Shaw his own Zimmer frame, crutches and wheelchair and private ambulance. Oh, should we be worried if we don't get any competition on getting Gykeres? No, mate. No. I mean, I feel what you're saying. Like, if these players are that good, then why is there no other clubs that are going in for him? I understand what you're saying with that message. But I actually don't think so. I mean, I look at Matheus Cunha, and I watched him a lot this season. He was a match winner for Wolves. He was brilliant. Nobody else went in for him, though. I asked myself why. He's a very good player. I also think the same with Mbeumo. At the moment, United is the one that's making it happen. We haven't seen a big push by anybody else. I don't really know. I honestly don't know why there's no other clubs that are interested or at least have gone in for Gykeres. I think they're just playing the waiting game, lad. It depends on their targets. They have targets, don't they? Like Arsenal have got a target of Benjamin Sesko. If they can't get Sesko, they'll turn their attention to Gykeres. That's the understanding. But it's down to personal choice. So Mikel Arteta, let's face it, has the managerial judgment of a lemming, and he's decided that Benjamin Sesko, who I've seen a bunch of times, and I personally think is pretty decent, but he's also not as good as Gykeres. He's got the judgment, though, that he's better than Gykeres, or at least that he'll be better for Arsenal than Gykeres will be. Hence why he's going to try and sign Sesko for even more money than it would potentially cost for Gykeres. So I don't really get it. It's all down to personal preference and opinions. Football's a game of opinions. End of the day, I think Gykeres is better than Sesko. Arteta obviously thinks Sesko's better than Gykeres. So stuff like that. You know, it's stuff like that. That's not to say that Gykeres is not a better player or a better option for Man United. Let's see then. Ezio says Sesko is better. All right then. Let's see. Let's have a little see here, shall we? Let's have a vote in the live chat, guys. Sesko or Gykeres? Have your say. Have your say, because genuinely, and I'm not just saying this because we're looking to sign him, it's Gykeres all day long. Gykeres is more of a finished article. Gykeres' goal rate is ridiculous. He scored like 67 goals in all competitions last season for club and country. 54 in 52 for Sporting, lad. Come on, mate. You can't really compete with that. So, I think Gykeres is the one, personally. Sesko, yep. Gykeres, Viktor. This is football heritage. Gykeres, both average. I wouldn't say 54 and 52's average. You know, come on. Even if it's the sport, even if it's the Portuguese league, you take a striker, choose a striker. Mbappe, whoever. Choose a striker, take him and plop him in Portugal and get him playing for Sporting. He might score a few more than Gykeres, maybe. But he won't score a lot more, mate. It's still difficult to score over a goal a game. In over 50 games, lad. 54 goals in 52 games. Come on, mate. He can do it at that level. He can do it for us. It's obviously maybe... You're not going to expect him to get 54 and 52 for United. That's crazy, no. Premier League's a different animal. But it does show you that he's got a great eye for goal. It shows you that he's got a great record. And it gives you confidence that he'd be able to at least replicate some of that for us. So, yeah, I think Gykeres. Gykeres. Arteta won't start Sesko. Arteta has the same judgment as Taco Don. Oh, Gykeres, 100%. Gykeres is better for our system, Gykeres. Tesco, Gykeres more physical and more goal aware. Sesko's just a midget. Steady on now, Lewis. Gykeres. Merrick says, Mr. Flying Pig, if we get all our transfer targets, where would you realistically expect us to finish? Realistically, seventh. But if we actually do well and start the season well and build momentum, then we could push for top 4. I don't think we're challenging for any titles this year, but we could push for top 4, lad. Yeah. Gykeres' goals, Mbeumo's goals, Cunha's goals, and the creativity those guys will bring as well, and the danger. We're going to have Bruno playing a deeper role for us. That sounds decent to me. Cassie's still here. Ugarte, Mainu, great young player. You know, you've got obviously some really good players. You need to address the goalkeeper position mainly and the striker position mainly now. And if you get that, if you get Gykeres and you get, let's say, Martinez from Villa or somebody who's a really good top keeper to improve upon Andre, why the hell not could we not get top 4? Why the hell not? No, seriously. Why not? Forest had a great season. They almost got top 4. They finished, like 7th in the end, but they had a great season out of nowhere. Leicester City in 2014 won the league from 5,000 to 1. If they can do it, we can do it, is all I'm saying. It's about momentum. Manchester United can get these players in, improve our starting 11, improve our team, and actually Amorim will have more players that will actually be right for his system. Rashford, Anthony, Garnacho, they don't work. Cunha and Mbeumo, Gykeres, those guys work. I always go back to those games that... I only watched a few games of Sporting before Ruben came. But I did watch some. There was a game against Manchester City in the Champions League where Sporting duffed up City 4-1 or whatever it was. You know, if you look at that game, you look at the style, the way that they're going about it, we can look forward to some good things under Ruben Amorim if he starts the season well. It's imperative that happens. We need the confidence boost early doors. We need to start believing, getting the momentum. But we can do that. That's why we have seasons, isn't it? People would say, oh, United are crap. We were absolutely crap last season. But that's why we play the next season. We don't just stop and say, oh, Liverpool won, so they're the best. That's not what we do. We play the next season. It gives you a chance to to change. You've got to get new players. You've got to get new players, new system, all of the rest of it working. So I'm quietly confident we'll have a good season, actually, you know. Amorim isn't Ranieri. Oh, fair enough, Zingu. Remember, Ranieri got sacked the next season for almost crashing Leicester into the mud. Remember? But to be fair, Zingu, I know what you're saying. He did unbelievable that season. What a legend Ranieri is. But Amorim's only 40. Amorim shouldn't even be compared to Ranieri. He's a younger coach. He's kind of learning on the job, sadly, especially in the Premier League. You forget we have Onana. That's automatically minus 20 points. You forget we're going to be trying to sell that big melter. Come on, lad. He's not staying here for too long, is he? We're going to be obviously trying to sell him. Amorim, miles better than Ranieri. Calm down now, Kieran. Amorim's got a lot to prove first. Ranieri's had some good spells in his career, hasn't he? I mean, winning the league with Leicester is one of the most insane things that any manager could ever do, isn't it? It's pretty ridiculous. Oh, look at this Tottenham Rager, Melto. Here we go, but we're Man United and Mbeumo's clear of those. All right, then, calm yourself down, Tottenham Rager, lad. Don't get jealous. Don't get jealous just because we're over here signing players that you could only dream of, even though you beat us in the Champions League qualification in the Europa final to get Champions League qualification, and players still don't want to go to you, mate. You know what I mean? That's how gas you guys are, lad. Gykeres, Cunha, and Mbeumo, Ahmad, Bruno, Xerxes scores 50-plus goals easy. Spot on, lad. Spot on. Man United need to get goals in our team. Rasmus Højlund got like 3 league goals for us last season. And Mbeumo literally got as many goals as our whole front three last season as well, throughout the whole season. So, you know, if you add those goals to the team, we're going to be better. We're going to win more games. We're going to create more chances. We're going to be way more deadly. And then if you stop the problems at the back, i.e. goalie and injury issues, then we're going to be much better off. But make no mistake, the last season was a freak season. Freak season. Any other season, we have a shit season, we finish 7th or 8th. This season was a freak season. I mean, we literally chopped and changed manager mid-season there after allowing the old guy to still spend more money in the summer and spend 600+ million over the course of a few years to build that squad. We sacked him, changed him, got somebody else in who was going to, and we knew he was going to play a totally different system with different tactics, different formation and everything, which is crazy, really, when you think about it, mid-season to do something like that. That's the sort of thing, you know, you do in pre-season at the start. You make a change end of the season, get somebody in early, change the tactics. You don't really do it mid-season. Well, we did, and we felt the ramifications of that. We completely crumbled. We had the worst season ever. Amorim oversaw a complete shower of shite. Say it how it is. The Amorim system did not work this season. It didn't work. But I think there's a lot of factors for it, i.e. the players that were there before, the previous coach being a melt, and just the toxic environment that was left for him at United. Getting rid of Rashford, getting rid of Anthony, having to get rid of a couple of your key players because they can't be asked is not the ideal thing for a manager to have to do when he's only been there for 2 minutes. And then not replacing them either in the Jan window. So I feel for Amorim. His record stinks for Man United. It absolutely stinks. But there's a big reason why it stinks. It's not just as simple as he's shite. He needs time and backing, and then we'll see just how good of a coach he is this season, I think. And I think he is a good coach. By the way, we're 1 like away from 300 likes. Thank you, everyone who's hit the subscribe button and the like button tonight. Keep hitting those likes on it, guys. You can smash the like button. That helps us out. We're nearly at 300. Who's going to be number 300? Also, if you're here for the first time, give us a subscribe. Click the red button down below. If you're scouse and you struggle reading, it's the red one. Right there, it says subscribe. Give us a subscribe if you're new. And click the bell icon for notifications. We're on here every day, usually around about lunchtime. 12:30 p.m, 1 p.m, usually around about there to cover the day's news. And then we're always on every night, late night, round about sort of 10-ish, for a cheeky late night rundown of exactly what's going on with the evening's news. And then when there is breaking news in the daytime, you know, like yesterday when it was reported that Garnacho is leaving, etc., but then we'll jump on, give you the updates with either short videos or little streams to give you the update. So make sure you subscribe, make sure you click the bell icon so you don't miss any of the goings on. Rajat, thanks for your super chat, Rajat. He says Gykeres would be a great striker, dream FIFA style. Right, okay. Dream FIFA style. Okay, I like your style, mate. Yeah, nice. Well, that's it. I mean, he could be the next real great Swedish friend for us. You know, we had Zlatan Ibrahimovic, didn't we, for a while? We've had Henrik Larsson at Manchester United on loan. We've already had the 2 greatest Swedish strikers of all time, haven't we, at Manchester United? Now we're going to have the 3rd. Now we've got the 3rd, mate. Oh, Swedish friend. You know, so He's going to be a great player for many years, Dad, for club and country. If we can get him, it's a real coup for us. It's a real great signing. And I'll start to feel like we can actually achieve something this season. I think it will be a good season, especially with no European football. That's obviously horrible. I hate the fact we've got no European football. But in one way, it's much better for the squad and much better for Amorim. Because Amorim does not have to sign as many players or replace as many of the outgoing players. He can have a tighter squad. And it can be managed a bit better. Conditioning will be better. Fitness will be better. Less injuries should be the case. So it should be stronger for us in all competitions. There is something that happens when you have to contend with the European games and the 4 competitions. You know, something gets watered down in the squad. Too many injuries. Look at United and Spurs this season just gone. Crikey, they were both wrecked with absolute injury issues throughout the whole entire season. So, you know, less games, no Europe. That helps us domestically. That helps us focus on the cups, helps us focus on the league. Before you know it, Manchester United could actually be in a place where we are sort of doing some really good things. Larsson is a king. Yes, Larsson was amazing, lad. You're looking forward to Euros and De Ligt's second season. Oh, Euro. I'm so looking forward to Euro. I know De Ligt looked really good, got injured and stuff. Euro similar, had some injuries. But I can't believe how good Euro looks for a kid. He's still just a kid. He looks absolutely incredible. Got a lot of hope for him to be a solid, big-time centre-back for us for many a year. Yeah, not that many years. He's 27 already. Yep, prime, lad. Prime. 5 years. The best 5 years of your career. From 27 to 32 as a forward. The prime. A.K.A. the prime. Thank you so much, Urbano. He says, love your optimism, Piggy. Well, I'm just trying to be optimistic, like you say, mate. You know, because it's easy to be down about United and think we are just going to have a stinker next season. But I'm just trying to be positive, mate, and get a bit of belief going, really. Because if we do sign well, then why not? Why not? I'm just hoping there's going to be that time, you know, like Fergie in 92. We bring in a few key players, you know, Cantona, whatever. Next thing you know, we're on a serious run of success. It can happen, mate. If you sign the right players and have the right coach, it can happen. Get rid of that clown Sancho. Oh, Robert, yeah, nice one, but how? How do you propose we do that, Robert? Take him down the charity shop? That's the only way you're going to get rid of him, isn't it? Nobody wants him. His wages are crazy. We said earlier, we did a little poll earlier on, and we said, how much do you think Sancho would be paid if he was a free agent tomorrow? Like, who would offer him what? How much would he get? Well, he's on 300,000 a week at United, but if a team on a free were to make him an offer tomorrow, he'd probably only get half of that. That's the sort of melt we're talking about here. So he's almost unsaleable. He's got a year left on his contract. He's not going anywhere, mate, I don't think, unless it's out on loan and we'll cover the rest of his wages that the other team will not pay. They'll refuse to pay it because there's no value in it. Yeah, the Mont. Thank you for subscribing, the Mont. Yes, Angie Postacoglu. All right, yeah, fair enough. Dunked on you forever. Yeah, he dunked on us and then got fucking sacked, lad, because he finished 17th in the league and he got 22 losses. I mean, Spurs are the Spursiest team ever. Takes you 17 years to win a Poxy trophy. He's the first manager to win you the bloody trophy in all that time. First in Europe since the 80s, and then you sack him. Nice one, mate. Shows you what a gashtastic tin pot club you are. but also, you probably were kind of right to sack him in a way, because that league performance was shoddy, weren't it? I mean, that's unbelievable. Okay, you did win the Europa. That saved your season. But that league performance, man, that is embarrassing as well. Yep, very easily, especially after this season, mate. But I like how you are hopeful, top man. Thank you, my friend. No, I'm not Fatboy Slim. Sorry, I'm not over on the gaming channel tonight. I'm doing these because I did the Portugal game and it went to extra time and penalties. I basically just got on here really late. I've done a really late stream straight after the Portugal-Spain watch-along, so we're on here. It's nearly midnight. We'll probably stay on until at least midnight here, guys. We're having a good old chat, aren't we? We've got a bunch of legends watching. Have your say, guys. Have your say. Let me just cover some of the other stuff that happened earlier on in the day as well very quickly. So we are still looking at goalkeepers. Obviously, Martinez is still on the agenda. There's links to the likes of Milinkovic-Savic as well. Could be had for about 20 million euros. Watch this space on the goalkeeper situation. I think that's going to be obviously the fourth thing that we do this summer. Seems like we're getting Mbeumo and Cunha over the line. And then obviously Gykeres is going to be a big focus. And then surely we get a goalkeeper. But there are reports that there's contact made with Villa over the potential for signing Emi Martinez. But again, that one's from the Mail. So basically it just means nothing. But there are reports that we might be trying to sign Martinez from Villa. So that's a positive as well. West Ham apparently have an interest in Jadon Sancho. This is via Rob Dawson. But again, they're not going to take him unless we're paying most of his wages. They're not going to pay him more than 140k a week or something like that. West Ham, they're not going to do it. So we'll have to pay him loads to play for a Premier League rival, essentially. We're not going to do that. Stupid, although we did it last season with Chelsea, so maybe. What else? Also, Garnacho linked to various different clubs. Garnacho, we know, is leaving Manchester United this summer. The situation there is that obviously all parties are happy with him to go. He wants to go. He doesn't want to stay. It's a shame, but he is pretty much guaranteed to be leaving this summer as long as we can find a decent suitor for him, a decent club to come in and actually buy him. And there's a few on the table. Apparently, there's a few Premier League teams that are interested in him. Aston Villa being one of them as well. There's a couple of links to Italy, Napoli, for instance, a couple of links over there. And there's even this link that says that Garnacho has been told that he can find another club. And Al Nassr over in Saudi Arabia hope for a chance for him to join. Hope to offer him a chance to join his hero, Cristiano Ronaldo. So, and there's also Saudi interest from Jadon Sancho. But that's again from The Sun. And The Sun is absolutely a shite newspaper. So, again, take it with a pinch of salt. But surely Garnacho's wanted by several clubs. We should see a bit of movement about Alejandro Garnacho at some point. Again, probably not till the second sort of transfer window opens again here this summer. But Garnacho is expected to go somewhere. I doubt he's going to go to Saudi. End of the day, it's career suicide if he does that at 20 years of age. Yeah, sure, he'll go there, make shitloads of cash. It'll be amazing. But he's only 20. He should be staying in Europe and playing for one of the top sides, really. Not necessarily the top sides, but just a good European side. He can still have a very good career. If he goes to Saudi, the standard's just lower. Your development's stifled. It's just not really a good move for him, I don't think, even if he's going to get paid more than anywhere. If he does go to Saudi, though, then good riddance, even more so. Because you know if he's the type of guy at 20 years of age to go and play in Saudi, that he's just a wrong-un. You know what I mean? He's just a wrong-un, guys. At 20, ego-wise and money-grabbing-wise, if you do that when you're 20, I'm sorry to say, you're a wrong-un, mate. When you could be playing for a top European team in Italy or something, you know. So that's what I think on that one. Also, let's just cover this very quickly before we get properly into the chat here. Yep, Arsenal, Sesko, close on agreement, leaves it clear for Gykeres. Reports from Florian Plettenberg saying the feeling is that Arsenal can get a deal done with Sesko and it remains very positive. Reports, obviously, as well, Thomas Franks being appointed as the Spurs coach, and there's some understanding that maybe they might try and pinch Bryan Mbeumo from us. I'm not worried. I'm expecting tomorrow will be the Mbeumo day. We should be signing Bryan Mbeumo come tomorrow night. I'm hoping so. But we've been saying that for the last 2 nights, so you never know. You never know. United have been slow on this one, as it turns out. We started strong, we started quick, but in the end, we've been quite slow with it again. And then the big stories of the night, guys, is that Man United have made some direct contact with Sporting regarding Viktor Gyokeres. Club-to-club talks to continue over the coming days and weeks. Get in there, you beauty. So that's great news. We're working on that potentially after Mbeumo. And then just a bit more from Marco Alcaraz. He goes on to say that understand that Man United have been directly informed of an existing agreement between Viktor Gyokeres and Sporting CP via players agent today, which allows him to be sold for £55 million this summer. Again, you need to take it with a pinch of salt. Who knows? The final fee could be a lot more than that. But £55 million is the number that's being bandied around at this moment in time for him. Let's be having you. Right, 2 secs. I'm just going to check, see if there's more updates from any of the Dons. Let me have a look and see. And then I am going to go over and shout out all the legends that have reposted us on X. Do give us a cheeky little repost if you haven't done. Nice one. Okay, so there's nothing from Fabrizio in regards to Gykeres at the moment tonight or Mbeumo. Nothing from David Ornstein. Nothing from some of the top sources I'm looking at here on the socials. So, yes, I think it's fair to say that Manchester United, we're close to Mbeumo, and we're also thinking about Gykeres. That's all we can really say right now. Gykeres is certainly nowhere near close to being done. We have to agree something with Sporting. We've only just made initial contacts. So don't expect anything quick on the Gykeres front, but Mbeumo should be tomorrow. Get in there, you beauties. That is the updates. We'll stay on a bit longer, though, because I've got a feeling there could be something coming out late tonight with a little bit of extra news. I'm just going to shout out all the legends who reposted us on X. The link's at the top of the live chat. Give us a follow on X at Flying Pig United. Also Insta, Facebook, all those places. Flying Pig United, links at the top. Give us a repost. Thank you to John Boy, Cat, Kieran, Francois, The Goat, Larry, Kane, Sanjay, Devils are red, and everybody who's shared us around there on socials or anywhere, guys, thank you very much. We're on 330 likes. Get in there. Can we get to 400 tonight on tonight's show? I'm going to stay on for a little while longer, guys. Cake says, right, I'm off to sleep. Night, Piggy. Night, everyone. Thank you, Cake, for getting in here and moderating the chat. I appreciate you. Have a great night, you legend. Sleep well. Dream of Viktor Gyokeres, lad. No, not in that way. Quiet night for Man United. Yeah, well, the quiet before the storm. The calm before the storm, lad. It should all be kicking off tomorrow. Suzanne says, why are Tottenham fans here on United chat? Because they're salty as, lad. They're salty as, mate. They're losing out on good players here, you know. They would love a cheeky Gykeres. Of course they would. Ask any Spurs fan, genuinely, if they would have him, and they definitely would want him. Same goes for Cunha, same goes for Mbeumo. They know that we're doing some bits this summer. And what are they doing? Well, they're probably just going to lose Son. They're probably just going to end up losing Son Heung-min. He's won his trophy now. He's going to 0-1, 2-1, do one out the football club and go play for a proper team now that he's won a trophy. So what's he got left to achieve at Spurs? Honestly, players like that. What's he got left to achieve? He's got to go. If I'm Son's agent, I'm begging him to leave for the money. Not just for the money, but for a better football club with a higher challenge. Spurs aren't going to win anything again. That's a 1 in 17 years thing. So he's having a mare if he stays at Spurs. Honestly, I think they'll lose Son this summer. I know there's not really been any talk about that or anything. I've just got a feeling deep down in my piggy loins that Son Heung-min is going to want to leave Spurs this summer. It's an end of an era for him. I saw his lovely message to Andy Postecoglou on Insta or whatever the other day. It was beautiful. Beautiful words. You know, I feel like he's just like, well, that's the end of the chapter now at Spurs. Let's go play for a real team. Son, what a player over his career. Unbelievable, yeah. Oh, you wouldn't mind Son? I'd take Son in a heartbeat, mate. Son would literally be our best player, mate. That's the reality. If we signed him now, even though he's getting on, he would be our best player, mate. I wonder if we could do a Garnacho-Son swap. You never know, mate. We'll get an old head for a few seasons. They get a young head for a lot of seasons, and everybody's happy, aren't they? Could be possible. Tottenham are a dead club. Yeah. Should be playing for United, to be honest. Yeah. Everyone leaves Spuds. Yeah. They do, don't they? Post to Brentford. If you're talking about, who you're talking about? Man United. I mean, we are a pretty shoddy run club if you're talking about us. Most definitely. And Mbeumo is coming, Spurs. Let's have it right. Where are you getting this from, though, Tottenham Ranger lad? Where are you actually getting this from, bro? Seriously, because, you know, the deal's almost done with Manchester United, mate. It's 95% there. If you think there's... I guess if it doesn't happen by tomorrow, the doubts will creep in. If we know that Spurs are appointing Thomas Frank and we haven't agreed it and had it announced that it's been agreed before this mini window shuts, then, yeah, fair enough. I will actually start to believe that he might be going to Spurs. But until that happens, mate, he's coming to United, lad. He's absolutely coming to United. Yes, Aaron Bainbridge, he will score a lot. I feel the same. Abana, you bet it's a great venue at Spuds Stadium. Nobody stays at a club forever. Nah, true. Not unless you're like, you know, a Scholesy type or something, which is very rare these days. Gav's highlights, thank you so much, you legend. I'll check that out after you, Don. Thank you so much, dude. Hero. You can have Son for Mainu. Oh, interesting. Yeah, again, I wouldn't really want to do that, though, because I do think Mainu's quality, you know, and he's so young and has a bright future. Son, although he's amazing right now, he's only going to start to depreciate in talents over the next few years. Plus, you're going to lose out on him in a few years' time for zero cash. So but for a few years, though, he'll be absolutely amazing. Certainly for a season or two, Son's still one of the best players in the league. I have seen the Donnarumma rumours, mate. I have. But I can't really take them can't take them seriously, boss. You know, he's just won the Champions League with PSG. Surely it makes more sense for him to just sign a new contract there. They like to pay players a shitload of cash anyway. I reckon he can get a monster deal over there. Plus, there's other clubs that surely would be interested in him. Like, I would imagine almost every club in the world would be interested in him. Okay, unless you've got a Courtois or a ter Stegen or, an Alisson or whatever. Like, most clubs are going to be interested in him. I certainly would be. If United could get Donnarumma, that would be one of our signings of the summer, no doubt. Signings of a long time. But we can't get him, mate. You know, who's gonna come to United on the back of winning the Champions League? We are 15th, mate. There's no guarantees. I guess if you see the talents we're signing, and he really wants a project to try and get in with a good club and build them back up, and he really wants a challenge, then I guess it could happen. But let's be honest. Let's be honest. It's so unlikely, mate. It's so unlikely because where we're at as a football club right now, sadly. Hey, Abano Valdez, thank you so much. Big up Abano Valdez. Thank you for the super chat, you legend. He says, oh, Swedish friend. Exactly, mate. We could do worse than getting this Swedish friend in there, couldn't we? Get Zlatan back as well. My name is Zlatan. I am second greatest striker in Sweden's history behind Viktor Gyokeres. I'm joking, obviously. Zlatan's the man. Luke says, Biggie, is this the 24-hour channel? Pretty much, mate. Pretty much. We're covering all the news as and when it happens, mate. It's what we do around here. And I'll keep doing it as long as you keep watching it, my son. They're addicted to the Mirror. Oh, the Mirror's absolutely guff, isn't it? What's our transfer budget? Jack, well, probably all spent. All of it spent on Mbeumo and Cunha. Every single penny. Gone. No more in terms of transfer budget. Done. However, we've got loads of players to sell, which means that we'll be able to spend more money. So don't worry. I'd say at least another 150 million. Maybe we could spend after those signings. Probably 100 million, actually. Let's be honest, we're not going to spend more than a couple 100 million. So you're talking about 125 or 130 million-ish on both Cunha and Mbeumo. That means you've got to spend another 70-ish to get Gykeres. That's 200, and then a goalie minimum, 230. I think our overall transfer spend this summer will be 230. That's what I think. But then you sell Højlund, you sell Anthony, you sell Garnacho, you sell Onana, you sell a couple more maybe, and then you've basically just covered everything that you spent, haven't you? Or a lot of it. Rashford's another one. Rashford will get a lot of wages off the books. Sancho, if you could move him on, get a lot of wages off the books. You know, so if you get rid of these players, then it's going to finance a lot of what else we can do. If we were to not be able to sell anyone and not generate cash from player sales, I'd say that we've already spent our money now. But because we are able to sell players and finance more deals, I think we can spend a couple 100 million at least this summer. So I think 200 million, maybe 230 is what we could spend. But obviously we're going to have to recoup most of that or a lot of that back from selling players. Sancho for Son. Love that. I mean, that would be amazing, man. That would be the ultimate swap. Get rid of a proper charter of a player and get an amazing player like Son in. Yeah, you spoke to Tommy Frank at Tesco. Oh, really? That's where you're getting the info from? Nice, nice. Mirror is gash, to be fair. Definitely, you're not wrong. I mean, sometimes they get some stuff right, but you know, if you throw enough shit at the wall, sometimes it sticks, lad. I feel like you are live whenever I open my YouTube app, and let's just face it, it's pretty frequent. Well, I only do it for you, Luke. You know what I mean? I'm only doing it for you. Crypto Rambo, thank you so much for your super chat there. Crypto Rambo getting in here raw. Appreciate you. It says, I am from Los Angeles and I'm a Newcastle fan, but I just love you and your show. Very funny you are. Yoda. Very funny you are. Nice one, mate. Feisty one you are. Thank you, Crypto Rambo. That's very nice of you to say. Get some love in there for this LA legend. And he's a Newcastle fan. Well, we won't hold that against you, mate. Thank you very much for the kind message. That is lovely. Very funny you are. Thank you so much, Crypto Rambo. That's lovely, mate. Get some love in there for this man. Right, I'm going to read a bunch more comments out. Then we'll think about wrapping up this show. But once again, it's actually just turned midnight. Oh my God, we're on 90,450 subscribers. That means we've gone up over 50 subscribers during this show. You what? That's amazing. Bacon Brigade, assemble. That's amazing, guys. Help us get to 90,500 by hitting the subscribe. Keep subscribing, hit the subscribe. And I'll see you tomorrow as well, obviously, when we're updating with all the latest news. And there should be a very busy day ahead tomorrow with just a short amount of time left of this transfer window. Lee Dixon says, what do you think of Luke Shaw paying? I think we need to get rid of 200k wages. Mate, even if he was on 100, even if he's on £100 a week, it's literally too much money when he's put nothing back into the club. He is just a physio room ornament at these days. You know, he's basically got the same effect as a ficus houseplant. That's what he does. He has the same input to Manchester United as a plant. That's it. You might as well chuck a ficus in the corner of the physio room. That is Luke Shaw for you. So he's pointless, lad. I agree. It's going to be difficult to sell him, though. Nobody wants him. Too injury prone. Yes, get in there. Oh, this is from The Sun, is it, Aaron Bainbridge? Okay. Fair enough, though. He says United have moved one step closer in their bid to sign Viktor Gyokeres this summer, and a deal for the Swedish striker is expected to be struck for around £60 million. Sun Sport seems legit. Nice one, Aaron. But yeah, I mean, it does seem plausible that will happen. Gykeres, get in, son. Nice one, Alex. Swap Garnacho for Maddison. I've always rated Maddison as well, but again, bit of a crazy swap though, isn't it? You know, because Garnacho's so young with so much potential. I actually don't really think a swap deal benefits us with Garnacho. Surely we can get more money just by sending him off for 50 mil. Like, he's got value, that guy. He's got value. Doesn't paying in installments mean we can afford to put down payments on more players? It does, mate, yes. And actually, if you look at where we are in that whole PSR ranking thing at the moment, with how much you're allowed to lose over X amount of time, Manchester United are actually not doing too badly at the moment in that. So we could spend a bit more. How would you rate Amorim's first window compared to Eric Ten Hag? Better players for half the price. Yeah, so far, much better. Let's judge it after a few more weeks, you know, or certainly towards the end of the window, because it's looking good at the moment. But we don't even know if we've got Mbeumo 100% done yet. I would hate to think that somebody's going to pinch him last minute, i.e. Spurs. Let's see. If we get Gykeres, it's going to be a great window. If we can get these signings over the line, a new goalkeeper, it's going to be great. But again, let's see how it does. But so far, early doors, it's shaping up to be a better one, isn't it? Thank you, Ricker Mank. I appreciate you, my son. Thank you so much, lads. I appreciate the comments and the positive vibes, mate. Cheers. Hopefully Mbeumo, here we go tomorrow. Should be, mate. Yeah, easy now, the mustard. Let's go. Speaking of 2 minutes to midnight, I saw Iron Maiden live yesterday. Awesome concert. Oh, really? Iron Maiden, lad. Banging. Did they have like a big Eddie puppet or anything? 2 minutes to midnight to save the unborn in the womb. I love a bit of Iron Maiden, mate. Banging. Anyway, Sancho to Craggy Island over 75s. Yes. Why hasn't Cheating City been done yet? Because they make it go away, lad. They make it go away. They tie it up in so much litigation and red tape and all that shit. They've probably got O.J. Simpson's lawyer, Rob Kardashian, doing 24-hour shift on it, for fuck's sake. Do you know what I mean? You like another left foot, left back and centre back? Yeah. Roy Farmer, keep farming. And Mbeumo, here we go, has to be tomorrow to kill the Spurs threat. Totally agree, Shay. If we don't hear it, then we can basically surmise that Brentford are playing hardball, knowing that there's a chance that they can get money elsewhere as well, and that, you know, they'll try and use that as a bargaining chip to squeeze an extra 5 to 10 mil out of us or some bollocks. Or it means that Spurs have turned his head. If we don't hear about Mbeumo, here we go tomorrow, lad. It means pretty much Spurs have potential to turn his head with Thomas Frank going in there. Nice one, Canoe. Yes, you know it. Up the iron, says old 793. How you doing, Ulster? Yes, mate. Come on, Iron Maiden, lad. Nice one. F the iron, says Undy. You can't, well, it's true the irons, but, you know, obviously like Iron Maiden. Can't wait for the day City go back where they belong in the Championship. Come on, Mike. Hopefully down to League 2 first for a reality check. Starting at the bottom of the Football League. See you later on. We will fight to get Mbeumo. Yeah, you know it, lad. You know it. Oh, you know it. If he goes to Spurs, who do we get in that position? Sorry, who are we talking about? Oh, and Mbeumo, yeah. Well, who do we get in that position? It's a good question. I mean, we would still have Bruno Fernandes who can play there. We'd still have Amad Diallo who can play there. But who do we go for? I don't know. You know, it depends. We might change our emphasis a little bit on something. Maybe we go for, like, I don't know, a Semenyo. Maybe we go and try and get a striker like a, you know, like a Mateta, yeah, or a player that can play wide like an Easy or a Semenyo, as I say, something like that maybe. But in terms of a cam, I don't know. I think maybe we could just put Bruno up there, get Wharton, right? Sign Wharton, play Wharton in the midfield too, and then have Bruno playing cam instead. That sounds just as dangerous and just as potent. You know, Bruno's stats don't lie. His creation's awesome. Yeah, I want to see Mbeumo, I want to see Cunha in there, and I want to see Bruno a bit deeper. I think he can do that for us, playing a bit deeper, playmaking and stuff. But I wouldn't be against seeing Bruno play, you know, alongside Cunha behind a Gykeres type. So if Mbeumo does end up going to Brentford, you know, it's not the end of the world, but yeah, it would be pretty shit because we've got our heart set on him with his 20 goals and 8 assists that he brought to the table for Brentford last season. Go on, Kieran. FC25, Diogo Costa, Sonse, Frankie de Jong, Cunha, Mbeumo, Viktor Gyokeres. Like it, mate. That's a strong looking team. I mean, the Frankie de Jong link's interesting because obviously he's saying at the moment he wants to sign a new deal or whatever at Barca, but we're not getting him anyway. That was such a Ten Hag link, that one. Weghorst for Spurs. Justin Kluivert's a great shout. Yes, all that leaves now is the handshake and signature, then Spurs can keep their paws off of him. That's it, mate. It's a matter of time. I don't think we've got to worry. End of the day, it's Spurs. And as I said earlier, you have to be kind of a fool to choose Spurs over United, even if they do have one season of half a Champions League to play. Steel Flexi says, whoever believes the Mbeumo to Spurs, there is no chance he's coming to us 200%. Yeah, I agree. I don't think he's going to Spurs, mate. I agree. They're too Spursy, mate. They won't pay him the wages we do either. You know, there's reports that we're going to be paying him between 150k and 200 a week. Well, he's not going to get that money at Spurs. So if it's just about money, he'll want to come to us. If he really does want to play for Thomas Frank at Spurs, then it's going to be hard to stop. But yeah, money-wise, we'll be better off. Let's face it, size of club-wise, it's more appealing to play for Man United. We have a bigger ceiling, a bigger potential to win things. Yeah, we need players on the wing, can't continue with Dalot, Shaw, etc. Yeah, sure. Well, I think Ahmad Diallo will be playing a big role at right wing-back for us, bombing forward. I've also got a feeling, obviously, you know, Mats Rui's going to play that role sometimes as well. Dalot can play either side to an okay degree. He's not the best defensively, but he's decent going forward. And Dorgu's obviously going to come into effect, isn't he, on the left there, and he's going to hopefully have a much better time of it and look good this season. But beyond that, yes, I'm totally in agreement. We do need a new right wing-back. I'd love to sign Denzel Dumfries. Guys, if you could sign a wing-back, either a left wing-back or right wing-back, who would you go and get, realistically? The reason I think, I don't think Hakimi's realistic. I don't think Carvajal's realistic. I don't think any, you know, but I do think, I actually do think that, that Dumfries could actually be obtained. We can sign players from Inter. Man United's a huge club. Look at it. We got Andre Onana. After he was in the Champions League finals. If you can do that, why not? David Sadler, thank you so much for subscribing. And Jammy88, you legend, thank you so much for subscribing. Yep, Andy says, I'm not believing shit till it happens. Hey, respect, lad, respect. Well, it's happening whether you like it or not, Andy. End of the day, you know, people were saying the same about Matheus Cunha. Next thing you know, there's an agreement in place between the clubs. So, fair enough, lad. I respect that. It's always the best to be cautious and wait till they're actually there, signed. But we can talk about it. You know, it's something to be positive about, lad. You sold pretty much half the team because they're wet wipes, most of them. Yeah, good shout. Clear out needed. Man United would have to go out their way and mess up the deal on purpose. Yep, we are United. It's what we do. We will fight and get Mbeumo. Yeah, definitely. Well, I just hope that it doesn't mean that we have to pay more for him or either pay more to him for wages. That would be shite. In your dreams, Spurs getting Mbeumo, yeah, it's not going to happen, is it? You watched Dibbling live in Wales for England under-19s. It was like watching a man playing with honestly 8-year-olds. A little bit of a strange wording there. We know what you mean, Undies, but careful, lad. We have to sell Garnacho, says Robert. Hernandez from AC Milan. Oh, mate, yes. So Al Nassr trying to get a deal. Was it Al Nassr or Al Hilal? Al Hilal, I think, trying to get a deal done for Theo Hernandez. That would be a great signing, Kingslayer. I agree. That is a good signing for us right now, mate. Dumfries is underrated. Yep. Oh, Mendes was brilliant again tonight. Left wing back Mendes, right wing back. You stick with Ahmad for 2 seasons. Fair play. Wing back, you get Dumfries or Livramento. It's the motion in the ocean playing Rocket League. Nice, nice. Look on the football websites every day. Højlund on loan to the Championship. Yeah, tough one. Tough to get him sold. Maybe a loan move is on his horizon, actually. Makes sense, doesn't it? Can still develop. A team doesn't have to buy him. They can try him before they buy him. Maybe with an option to buy and, you know, kind of suits everyone, really. He actually still could be a good player in the future. So, even though he's shite for us right now and has been awful. Yeah, so many have dissed us, Pig, but he won't. Yeah, I agree. I think we're going to get him, lad. Rasmus doesn't want to leave. I know. We saw Rasmus comments earlier, mate, about him having a 5-year contract until 2030. And he's, like, expecting to play at Man United. But he just needs to be told, mate. I think, obviously, we've got to wait till Gykeres comes in. Once Gykeres comes in, the writing will be on the wall for him. He'll know that he's not going to be the first choice. He'll know that he's not going to get many opportunities. And he'll just be a backup, at best, probably third fiddle behind Chido Obi, at the very least. And we might even go and sign another forward yet. Who knows? So, yeah, I think for him and his perspective, he's going to want to leave once we've actually got a new player in. Maybe right now, he's not thinking about it. But also, you know, he wants to play. He's a young guy. He wants to play. Big up Ryan G. What's happening? Knowing United well, get a pack of 12 Kinder Buenos instead of Mbeumo. Oh, Andy. Well, that sounds about the right amount if we're trying to sell Luke Shaw. Hernandez turned their offer down. He's set to leave on a free at the end of the season. There you go. Mendes was ridiculous tonight. He was exceptional, wasn't he? He was my man of the match. He would be an amazing signing, yeah. But again, I don't think we can tempt him. I just don't think we can get a player from PSG right now. They are the Champions League winners. They are. And it's difficult. They've got so much money there as well. It's not like you can offer them more money. They're paying their players just as much as anyone. Nice one, Undies. Alphonso Davies. Yeah, I really rate Alphonso Davies. Who knocked England out of the Nations League when I don't remember at all? Honestly, I can't remember, mate. Wasn't it like a league? Wasn't it the group format we didn't even get through? I can't even remember now, Mike. I can't remember how it works. But we were shite anyway. How My House is Haunted on TV and Onana and Sancho be more effective as ghosts. Still time for Rasmus to come good. He needs support. There is, but he can't really afford to. We can't afford to develop him anymore. He's going to have to go somewhere else, sort himself out, learn, develop, get the experience, and come back and be better. We've got like 5 years of him contracted at the club. So technically, if we can't sell him, that's what I see on his horizon is a loan move. He could go and get some experience and do well, and he actually could come back a much better player. But his confidence is in the shitter. It doesn't help that the team around him was awful. It's just not. He's just not got the eye. He's not got the magic eye, mate. He doesn't pass the eye test. He can't score. His movement's rubbish. He's a big lummox. He had potential, but ultimately he's been found out to be a pretty bang average melter, unfortunately. Rasmus was under massive pressure when he arrived. True. Okay, true. We've said that as well, that he should basically have never been the number one striker for us. Never. In an ideal world, he'd have been third choice, second choice at the very least, learning from somebody and getting experience every now and then, playing a second role to a proper experienced striker. So you are right, Disco Dave. We gave him too much too soon to do. Too much pressure, too much responsibility in the team. I do feel for him in that sense. Yep, Susan says Rasmus is young and we saw some glimpses last season. He actually did have some good moments last season, I agree. Some nice goals. He scored some very nice goals. But this season, very poor, yeah. If we develop him, he can be a very good striker for us. Our bench, total sticker this season, can't deny, but can't ignore the talent he has. Hey, fair play. Well, he's got attributes, mate. He's tall, he's quick, he's strong. That helps. Rasmus has shown nothing. Yeah, true. We need Jonathan David on a free. Great shout, lad. Love that link. Great link. Dumfries would cook. Oh, he would, mate, yeah. Just make sure Luke Shaw's not around when he is. We can't wait for Rasmus to get goals. Footballers can be like to whine, but we can't wait for Rasmus to mature. Thank you so much, Gaz Wads. Thank you so much, Gaz Wads, for liking the video, you legend. Much appreciated, my son. Should we get Ronnie back as a backup? He wouldn't want to play backup. If Amorim wanted to try and convince Ronnie to come back, I mean, it might happen. I doubt it, because let's face it, what Ronaldo said about the owners and stuff after leaving, that's not going to go down too well, mate. But Ronaldo wouldn't come to play a second role. He would want to be the main guy. But if Amorim wanted him, I reckon, he's got a good chance, because, I mean, Amorim's played with him in his career. They're about the same age. Amorim used to be involved in the Portugal setup sometimes as well. Not a lot compared to the likes of Ronaldo, but he was involved in some of their tournaments and stuff. So I'm sure he knows him well, and he's a fellow compatriot Portugueser. So why not, mate? But I mean, look, we're not going to pretend that Ronaldo's the answer right now. It's not. It's not the answer. He's still class. He can still score a goal. His movement's still tremendous. But he is 40, mate. So it's not really the right guy. Stegen for Rashford, and we get 10 million. Now you're talking, Jimbo. Love that idea. Man United should have signed Aït-Nouri, fits Amorim's system perfectly, had a great link up with Cunha at Wolves. Great call, but I guess we can't sign everyone. I know what you're saying. Like, another one's Cherky, isn't it? Ryan Cherky, gone to City. He would have been a good addition. But we can't sign everyone, How much money? It's good in a way that we've gone for the Premier League proven players. How much money would it take for a club to take Onana? 20 million, 25 million, Wayne? It's better than nothing, isn't it? We paid 50 for him, was double what he was worth at the time, and that's proven to be the case. So it'd be hard to sell him for more than that. Oh, really, Robert? Don't slag off the Mirror. I used to work for them. Well, at least you don't anymore. You think if Rasmus stays and is understudy to Gykeres type player, it will be a good option off the bench. Hey, fair enough. All right, well, let's get a little vote in the live chat then. This will be one of the last things we discuss tonight, seeing as we're getting on for the length of a football match with this stream. But it has been a fun stream chatting with you legends. Thanks for everyone who's got in here. But I'll ask you this. Keep, sell, or loan Rasmus Højlund. Keep, sell, or loan. Keep him to play second or third fiddle and develop, play a backup role. Sell him to generate 35 million, maybe 40 million, maybe, and try and sell him to get somebody else in. Or loan him, keep him on the books at United, loan him somewhere so he can play, go and get experience, get out of this funk that he's in, maybe develop as a player and come back better. Let us know your thoughts, guys. Keep, sell or loan on Rasmus Højlund. It's a sell from me. Honestly, it is still a sell from me. I feel like I've seen enough of the guy. I feel like I've seen enough. I don't want to loan out Andre Onana either. You know what I mean? I want to sell him. I know Rasmus is different. He's only 22, but I still feel like we've seen enough of the lad. Let's be ruthless. I want Man United to start being ruthless and not just having passengers in our team. Sorry, but you've had a couple of seasons. You've not really shown anything. Yes, okay, you got some attributes, but yeah, you're shite, lad. That's the way I look at it. See you later on. Thanks for trying. Enjoy your massive payday and do one. Anyway, you say loan, sell, keep, sell, loan. Dilvani says sell. Barno says sell, I'm sorry. But I've lost hope in the guy as a striker. Yeah, absolutely. Hang on. Barno, you're a Liverpool fan, mate. Why are you talking like you're a fucking Man United fan all of a sudden here? He says, sell, I'm sorry, but I've lost hope in the guy as a striker. You should be wanting us to keep him, mate. You know what I mean? Sell, rip up contract. If that's room with 40 mil from Inter, take it immediately. Loan, sell, loan for experience and game time. Nice, Jonathan. Good shout. Get him off the books. Ronaldo, 62 goals away from 1,000. Only 24 players have ever scored 500. The guy's incredible, mate. Just look at how many he scored since he turned 30. It's ridiculous. Keep, loan, keep. Learners trade off Gykeres. Loan for a season. Yeah, you feel like you've had enough of that cash. Sell. Gashmas can't learn to tie his shoes, let alone a first touch. Selling, get Gykeres beyond bench and swing outside the ground. Rasmus Day came and went ages ago. Time to go. Sell Onana for anything over 50p. Yep, kid's confidence on the floor, doesn't have the ability to get out of it. No, that's it. No, well, not at United, maybe somewhere else. Honestly, there's less pressure. Look what's happened with Anthony. Anthony went to Betis, he's playing with a smile on his face, he's scoring goals. It can get you back out of a funk, can't it? Loan, if Haaland was our striker, he would have looked just as bad. Fair dues, yep. Loan. Depends what role he wants. Send him to the moon, keep. But it says, yeah, ruffle Onana off. Buy De Gea back. In an ideal world, yeah. Keep him. He needs to go on loan. We can clean house with other dead weight. Honestly, the De Gea thing, I'm not even kidding. I would give Fiorentina Andre Onana for a straight swap with De Gea. Even though Andre Onana's 27 and De Gea's like 34 or whatever it is. Honestly, for a couple of seasons, De Gea would still be mint for us, lad. He's a great shopstopper. Look at the season he's just had at Fiorentina. Didn't he get in the team of the season in Serie A as the main goalie in the team of the season pick? Or am I making that up? Maybe I'm making it up. But either way, David De Gea had a great season for Fiorentina, man. You know, he's still a great keeper. Oh, exactly. He's not the guy, is he? No. Let's go, Leolonga. Miss him. Keeping Fernandes, who can't keep position and selling young players like Rasmus, is diabolical. I mean, Bruno's actually effective, though. Bruno's stats show that he's effective. But, I mean, I feel you. You know, Bruno could have generated good cash, but he wanted to stay, mate. And Amorim wanted to keep him. So, gone in 60 seconds. Don't loan a player that expensive. Sell and move on. Yeah, would more sell Onana than Rasmus. Yes, well, same. Sell Onana and buy Costa. Great call. Yeah. Guru says, I know it won't happen, but we have got to sign Nuno Mendes. That would be a great call. Yeah, love that. Unbelievable again tonight. Yeah, fair play. The only role Luke Shaw wants is a BLT. Oh, Højlund's goals have dried up at United. He would flourish elsewhere. Look at McTominay and Anthony. Yeah, Serie A beckons for him. Serie A is a great place for him to go. Keeps running into the same brick wall and getting nowhere. You'd swap Onana with an STD? Oh, my God. Yes, he did. Still fuming the way Ten Hag and the board treated Big Dave. I know. So he did, yeah, De Gea got in the team of the season. So he was the best keeper, voted the best keeper in Serie A. I mean, that's the sort of guy we're dealing with here. He's a great keeper. He was great for us. We know what we're getting. I would swap him. Even though he's 7 years older or whatever and, you know, doesn't have anywhere near as long left. Pig tells some people what Bruno Fernandes' game is about. Well, Bruno Fernandes is a creative dynamo. That's what you have to remember. People say, oh, he passes the ball away so much. He's the one who's making more pass attempts than anybody, though. He is like a creative dynamo. Like, he honestly does get about the pitch more than pretty much anyone in our team. He plays more passes, especially forward passes, trying to get through oppositions than anyone in our team. Like, okay, sometimes it's a thankless task because you've got melters like Højlund running onto it. And, okay, he's not going to have a great game all the time. Again, he wasn't fantastic for Portugal tonight. He wasn't fantastic for us in the Europa League final, but he's been great in a lot of games. And he's a creative spark that tries to make things happen. He's brave. He wants the ball. He wants to get you going forward. He wants to create chances. That's what I love about Bruno. So, you've got to say he is the best creative spark we have in our team. Thank you, Keen16, for subscribing, you hero. Yes, Keen. Right, guys, if you're new like Keen16, get yourself subscribed to the channel. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. We're going to read just a couple more comments out that we do have to wrap this up. Got to start from the back here. That's what she said. Get rid of Onana. Yep, true. Would you welcome Sancho back? Definitely not, mate. No. I just don't really rate him that much as a player for a start. And secondly, I think his attitude's gash. I think he has the potential to be a toxic influence in the dressing room. I don't like it, mate. So no, I wouldn't want Amorim to rekindle that relationship. I know, obviously, he didn't fall out with Amorim. So there's a possibility that Sancho could still be given a chance. But his wages are crazy, nah. I can't see Amorim wanting him. He doesn't even fit in the system properly either. With Gykeres and Mbeumo added, we'll just outscore our opponent, so Onana won't be a factor much. Not as much, but still, he will make errors. So we could address the errors and get a better goalie. But true, if we've got a better team overall, it's going to be less of an issue, because if we're winning games, scoring goals. But then again, as I've always said, sometimes you look at United in the past with error-prone players, we could be 2-0 up in a game, and then in the blink of an eye, Maguire scored an OG, Onana's flubber-handed one in. Next thing you know, all of our good work's been undone. So it is important you get consistent performers at the back there who aren't going to melt. Never misses a game, number 2 in Europe after Salah. Exactly, that's Bruno Fernandes. Never misses a game, lad. You can't sell Onana if no one wants to buy him. Very true, very true. That is a problem. I think there will be someone that wants him, though, mate. In Italy or somewhere. Surely. He was a good keeper over there for Inter. Sell Onana. Thank you so much, Alex Moises. Love the live stream. Keep it up, bro. Thank you so much, mate. I love the community vibes. Great chatting to you guys tonight. Great chatting. Love the conversations. Love the chat. The players who choose United over European football will become legends when we come back. Leah Longer says, I've subbed. What days are you live? Every single day. That's right. We'll be live again around lunchtime. Today, it's now after midnight, so today, Monday lunchtime. We'll also be live every night around 10 p.m, every single night, 10 p.m, UK time. And then also, if there's any stuff in between, like if there's breaking news, United have signed Mbeumo, we'll jump straight on and cover it. So yeah, get yourself, we could be on at any time of the day. Give us a subscribe to the channel, click the bell icon for notifications so you don't miss them, and follow us on Insta, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Twitch, and Kick in the description. Nice one. Anyway, thank you, Guru Prakash, for subscribing. McTominay was good, wasn't he? Bruno is the best post-Ferguson signing we made. I agree. I don't get it either. He's a trier. He's a worker. He's passionate. His stats don't lie. I mean, I'll leave you with this. A couple of years ago, there was some Sky Sports interview or something with Kevin De Bruyne, who at the time, and still in a lot of people's opinions, was the best midfielder in this country playing in the Premier League by quite a considerable distance, right? For a really successful City side, De Bruyne was a major cog in that engine, right? And when asked about who he thinks the best player in his position is in the league, or player that can play in his position is, he was given options, he was given choices, Odegaard, whoever. And who did Kevin De Bruyne say? Kevin De Bruyne said Bruno Fernandes. He said he's the player that makes things happen for his team. He's the player that he'd want to be playing with. He's the player that, takes the risks, scores goals, creates goals, makes things happen, never stops running. If it's good enough for Kevin De Bruyne, and his opinion as one of the top players in that position in the league is good enough for me. That's all I'm saying. Thank you, Welshman Forever, for subscribing, you legend. I appreciate you hitting that subscribe, you Don. Thank you so much. Okay, guys, right. Well, we've pretty much got to end it, but thank you so much for tuning in, every one of you legends. Great stream. Just watch Bargain Hunt in case Onana's on it. You'd have to keep both McTominay and Amrabat. I'd definitely have McTominay back, honestly. The latest news on Gykeres, mate, I'll just tell you very quickly before we wrap it up then. The latest on Gykeres is simply that there's an understanding that United have made direct contact now with Sporting regarding Viktor Gyokeres. So club-to-club talks will continue over the coming days/weeks. This is via Marco Alcaraz on X. And, there's just an understanding that we are going to try and sign him. Like, we're making contact there. And there's also a report from him that says that he understands United have been directly informed of an existing agreement between Viktor Gyokeres and Sporting CP via player's agent today, which allows him to be sold for 55 million this summer. There's a gentleman's agreement in place between the player and Sporting. Now, obviously, this might be bollocks, but perhaps there is some sort of gentleman's agreement, which, if there's a certain figure that's hit, you know, they've said to Victor they can greenlight the sale. So hopefully this is the case. Hopefully 55 million, 60 million, somewhere in that region is what it's going to cost us to get him in terms of pounds sterling. We're going to be negotiating with them probably after we've got the Mbeumo deal done tomorrow. So obviously it's not going to be a very quick thing because we're focused on the Mbeumo thing. But then after that, we should turn our attentions fully to Gykeres. Nice one. Who said Kevin De Bruyne is overrated? Link the interview. I don't have the link to the interview, mate, but you can. I'm sure you'll be able to find it. Just search, you know, Kevin De Bruyne on Bruno Fernandes or Kevin De Bruyne talking about Bruno Fernandes, and you should be able to find it. Anyway, have a good start. Yes, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Jesper Blomqvist, indeed. Jesper Blomqvist, Lindelof, Gykeres, potentially. We've had Zlatan. We've had Henrik Larsson. We're basically just a Swedish Legends team. Anyway, right, okay, guys, Legends, yes, after Mbeumo, focus on a clear out, definitely, get those guys gone, Onana, Anthony, Garnacho, Højlund, everyone, Mount, if you can, whoever, Rashford, get them all out, Sancho, get them all gone, and then sign a couple of new players. That's it from me, though, tonight, guys. We're going to wrap this stream up. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. Great stream. Thank you so much for watching. Great chat, as always. Piggy loves you. We will be back on tomorrow lunchtime, or even earlier if there's some big breaking news when I wake up in the morning, and we'll jump on and let you know what's going on. Nice one, Urbano. Thank you so much. Big up everyone here, and take care, my friends. Thank you so much for the $9.99 super chat at the end there. You're a legend. Thank you so much, Urbano. Really appreciate the support, man. Thank you, dude. You're a legend. Thank you, dude. And Disco Dave, Longtime Don, Kingslayer, Jonathan Walton, Kingslayer Alex, everybody who's in the chat here, thank you so much for watching, guys. As I say, check the links in the description. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, all those places if you want. Drop a like. We're nearly at 400 likes. Banging. Hit the subscribe button so you don't miss the streams. Click the bell icon like your name was Quasimodo so you don't miss them. And we'll see you on tomorrow's stream, guys. Nice one. Yes, indeed, Paula, a Swedish smorgasbord. Oh, yeah, a bit of cheeky Man United doing a bit of cheeky fondue. You know what I mean? Having a dip in the old cheese pot, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, what? Anyway, thank you so much, guys. Thank you, Gavs. Yes, I will check that out. I'll get back to you very soon about it, man. Legend. That's it from me, guys. Thank you for watching. You can follow us on the Flying Pig Gaming channel as well on YouTube, and also Flying Pig United Extra is the name of the Clips channel run by the Legend Gavs Highlights. Check that out, and we'll catch you later. Thanks for watching, guys. That's it from me. Have a great night. Man United working still on Mbeumo. Hopefully tomorrow's going to be, finally, Mbeumo Day, and beyond that, we can turn our attentions to getting rid of players and bringing in Viktor Gyokeres. Some positive signs there that we are still the team most likely to do the job there for Victor. Thank you, Urbano, Susan, Simon, and everybody else. Thanks to the moderators, the Mustard, Gavs, everybody, all the mods, Solskjaer, and everyone who's been in here. All the members of the channel, big ups. And remember, Piggy loves you. And also remember, when the seagulls follow the trawler, this is because they think sardines will be thrown into the sea. Thank you very much. Get in there, you beauties. Thank you so much to all the patrons here for supporting the channel on patreon.com/FlyingPigUnited. As a thank you, all you legends will be appearing on this outro list. Get in there. Once again, thank you to all the YouTube members, but one of the best ways you can support the channel is on patreon.com, so check it out. Patreon.com/FlyingPigUnited. And once again, a big thank you to all the legends that do support the channel on Patreon. Get in there.